Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers, if you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back to the Common Tech Files, the Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things heroes related. I am Lilith, and on the hunt for specials with me, as always, is...
It's Ricky. I've got deja vu.
I know. Up for discussion today is episode 323, 1961. It is a flashback/history lesson, so there's nothing to it but to do it. This episode originally aired on April 13, 2009. It was written by Aaron Eli Collette, and it was directed by Adam Kane.
So, Angela reveals the dark secret that has haunted her for years, while Mohinder learns that his father was involved in a long-forgotten government operation.
Okay, and in the flashbacks, it is revealed Angela has a sister, and her sister has a sweet ability. They also... once and for all confirm Charles Devereaux's ability, and we also see young Chandra Suresh up to things, and how the company was founded is also revealed.
Yes. So, might as well just get straight into it. Let's start off with, I guess, we'll start off in the present day and just go through the kind of Petrelli-Bennett kind of storyline that's running throughout. And so... who is it? Let's start with Nathan and Peter, I guess, because Peter shows how childish he can be by bringing up a grudge from about when they were kids about not being able to go to the
Mets
World Series. Yes, he got to go to a playoff game, and I think it's a perfect kind of analogy for them because whenever Nathan's trying to be helpful, there's always still some kind of deal in it for him. There's always some kind of advantage for him. So yeah.
I don't really have much to say about them. They obviously kind of have to force this contrived reconciliation for the plans that they have for the character of Nathan. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just weird. I kind of like Peter without Nathan at this point. Yeah. I'm just being honest. The whole Petrelli family is very fractured, as is the Bennett family at this point. But I don't know. It's just weird, and I don't like it.
Well, that's what this episode was trying to kind of do and give them a reason to kind of get back together. How revealing that you kind of left your sister to die is able to do that. We kind of see throughout the episode because at the end of it, they end up deciding that they need to create a new company. So, and you know how far that went, but yeah, let's talk about other like little.
Okay, let's just talk about the flashbacks. That's the best.
No, let's just talk about let's get this kind of future stuff out of the way. What do you think of the other little pairings that they have? So they have they have Claire and My Two Dads, which I think it's been a while since we've seen that. I don't think we've ever actually seen them both having to relate to Claire, have we?
Yeah, we have. Well, okay. I mean, this is season 3. This is volume Fugitives, where Nathan and Noah have that tentative thing.
Yeah.
They're safe, with Danko especially in the way, but not like in a room together on like a mission, as it were, I guess.
And she just says that she needs both of them, essentially, which is fair enough because, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
We'll cut that
that's how I
out.
feel about it. No, let's leave that in because it is really whatever. The all the present day stuff in this episode is just whatever. I don't care.
What about your
Even the
favorite?
even the resolution with Angela and
Her sister.
Alice, it was just like, okay, I've said my piece. That's good enough for me, and we'll never speak of this again.
Yeah, I suppose. What about your favorite Mohinder and Noah?
Oh God, that like it was too short. It was really bittersweet. Like they're having this conversation, and really Noah's trying to kind of talk about himself in the way that people like him do without trying to seem. And then Mohinder just calls him on it.
Yeah, definitely. But what else happens with Mohinder? I think that's basically it. He kind of leaves um, saying that he has to redeem himself or redeem his father, which is weird seeing how he's kind of gotten out of his father's shadow after season one, and now he seems to be going straight back into it and having to deal with like his father's mistakes, so to speak.
And he keeps making the same ones over and over. Like
Yeah.
literally, especially in season 4, is it nowhere more apparent that he is doomed to repeat his father's mistakes in even a more over the top manner. Seriously. So yeah. The end of the episode is the most interesting thing that happens. It's where they all kind of have this resolve. Angela's like, okay, I don't want history to repeat itself. You know, Nathan's made this mistake. We have to get him to fix it. And just as Nathan says, yeah, I'm going to head back to DC, the TV turns on, and it's his face saying, baiting the president into a meeting with him with some really violent, vitriolic kind of rhetoric. And I'm like,
So with them saying that they were going to create, well, essentially they said they were essentially going to create a new company. Who do you think would have been the best to kind of take over the company? Obviously we've got Angela and HRG, who would be obviously the heads of the company, but who do you think would have taken it over after them? Do you think it would have been like, if everyone had stayed around, who do you think would have been the next in line to kind of take over?
I'm really actually surprised she didn't call Matt in, honestly, because his talents are like really needed, considering how they had 2 telepaths as founders. And so it was like really an odd thing to see him missing. Like this is part of his history, kind of sort of too.
Yes.
And I think that Matt, because he had a son and he wanted the world to be a better place, would have been the perfect choice as like the in between, like the liaisons between like Stargy and Angela, and then like Peter, Nathan, and Claire.
Yeah, he would have been middle management.
Yes,
but no, I think that's a good point, because obviously there were more people in the founders, so you know, it's not just the Petrellis and the Bennetts. Well, to be fair, it's not even the Bennetts. It's not just the Petrellis. There was more people, and the only one who's really left over of them is Parkman. So yeah, and maybe, I don't know if they would have brought Mohinder in. Probably not.
They would have had Hero because he had the money. Kato left him money.
True.
But that would have been about it.
He would have been the new Bob. So yeah, we might as well. I really think that. I think it probably would have been left up to a committee, but I really think that Peter and Claire are both on a good path at the moment to kind of being able to take over the company and leave it in good hands. I think Peter or Claire, probably it more likely would have been Claire because she's technically immortal. So, you know, they could have kept some stability throughout the however long she was about. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about taking it. I don't know that she could have managed it, but she would have made a good guidance counselor. And I think as she matured and grew older, say like when she was like 200, maybe then kind of be the Angela.
Still looking the same, just chopping off her toes. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the flashbacks. So yes.
Okay, so the flashbacks open with the Shaw family, which consists of Angela, her sister, her mom, and her dad arriving to Coyote Sands. And we see her unpacking, and then like Charles Devereaux, Bobby Bishop, and Daniel Linderman come in to introduce themselves.
And the guy who they got to play Linderman has the weirdest English accent. They should have just kept him silent.
Yeah. Plus, he is like the creepiest creep to ever creep since West.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, and then like, okay, so we get this like weird answer to a question nobody even asked at all, and it's like why Angela was stealing socks, which is like crazy. It's like one of my favorite things like in Heroes ever. It's like I just thought she was an old white lady who liked to steal stuff to feel better, but apparently it had like a backstory.
Whether or not that backstory was there the whole time is a different matter, but yeah, I like the fact that they're kind of pulling up stuff, especially from season 1, which is notably one of the better seasons. So yeah, it's nice that they're paying homage to kind of little things from season 1.
Yeah. And then, like, but the thing about it is that, honestly, Angela seems a lot like Peter. Like, all she is worried about is boys, and she's sad she's missing prom, and she just wants to go catting around with Charles and Bobby and Daniel. And, you know, it's like, it's kind of sad to see, like, she turned into what she turned into.
I actually think, well, over the course of the episode, I think that it's more a relationship of Nathan and Peter, and I think she starts off more like Peter, but then towards the end she's just straight up Nathan, and I think the whole way through you've got Alice is the younger one? Yeah. Yep. You've got Alice who is Peter, the like young-eyed innocent kind of one, and it's only because
she seemed judgy to me. Like Alice was judgy as hell. Why are you doing this? You should stay here with me.
But you know, I can see Peter like just bringing books and stuff to like summer camp for specials. So yeah. But yeah, I like the episode because obviously the whole way through it gives you the reasonings why Angela, why she wants to keep everything a secret and why she wants to keep quote unquote the secret, and it teaches you, it tells you why. You know, she's easy to lie and easy to manipulate because, you know, she's been burnt once before. Yeah. And, yeah.
Another curious thing is that it seems like her powers when she was younger was more concrete. Like, she knew absolutely what to do. And as she got older, they got more vague and subjective, which kind of frustrates me.
You want powers to evolve, not to, like, disintegrate as you get
Devolve.
Yeah. But, what else?
So basically the big secret about how Alice died is that Charles, Bobby, and Daniel all go out to like have a burger at this place, and Dr. Chandra Suresh comes in to test Alice, and it freaks her out, and it like leads into like this one big riot that just ends in a basically massacre.
And basically before she gets taken in by young Chandra Suresh, Angela tells her that she'll be safe here, and of course Alice believes it because, you know, she sees the future, so she thinks everything's going to be fine. And that's when doo-doo hits the fan, and yeah, she realizes that, you know, she's got some kind of physical nature to her powers. Like she uses lightning at one point, I believe, and she ends up hiding underneath the building.
A bunk.
And it has like the acronym for like Building 26, which I think is a nice little Easter egg type thing for the present day. But
it's also the theme about, you know, history repeating itself, and those who fail history are doomed to repeat it. And it's really interesting, actually, when you look at it in that context, that Nathan was the one to kind of set this all in motion, and he was the one that she had like under her thumb the most. Like, do this, don't do that, don't listen to him. Do you know what I mean? Like, she just threw Nathan on it and left to his own devices. It was just no good. It also answers why Peter is her favorite, because he was so much, you know, like her when she was young.
Yeah, that's a good point. What else? Blah, 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 blah. So, we obviously know why it's long forgotten, because
they made people forget.
Charles used his powers to make people forget. And I think that he also used it on Chandra, and that's why Chandra didn't know anything about it, and wasn't part of his research when you came to meeting him in in season 1, but I also think that it's, even though it's like buried deep in there, much like what's going to happen in future episodes with kind of changing people's memories, it always kind of comes to the surface eventually. So,
well, I don't think it would have come to the surface. I think it's just kind of one of those destiny fates, because if his daughter Shanti hadn't been a special and hadn't like died that tragic death, and that set that him back on that course. But if that hadn't happened, do you know what I mean?
yeah, Mohinder wouldn't have been born because Mohinder's just the backup baby.
Well, yeah, he's the spare parts baby.
Exactly. And the only other thing I think we really need to bring up is the kind of the parallels between specials and humans, and where we are in 1961. Not only is it the kind of tension between specials and humans, there's also the black and white kind of racism divide which is going on. So yeah, I much like they've always done with X-Men, it's a nice little parallel, and it's brought up in this episode where obviously Charles and Angela dance, and he has to use his powers to make everyone forget.
Okay, so, Easter egg. That's Arnold that tells them to stop dancing from season 4.
No way.
Yes!
Oh my. But is it the same character?
It's not the same character, but
it's the same actor.
No, it's not the same actor, but it's the same character. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
He gets trapped in 1961, and that's him. So yeah, I was just kind of saw that, and I was like, wait, what? Really? I don't want to give them that much credit, but apparently we should.
Nice. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
You know what? It makes kind of sense though that they were planting the seeds for season 4 because we have the Coyote Sands films.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
And I guess it's funny that supposedly every member of the Shaw family had an ability. Alice did. We saw it. That was weather control. Mr. Shaw did. It was seismic burst.
Which
and
was
you said that the wife, even though it doesn't say on the wiki, that she said she had a power, but she never got
I tweeted at Ginger Pauly, who plays Mrs. Shaw. I asked basically just, if Mrs. Shaw had a power, and she said yes, and then I asked her what it was, and she never got back to me. But I'm considering it canon, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So let's just get into the review, yeah.
Yay! So, favorite character?
Young Angela.
Definitely, I'm going to agree with you. Why?
Aces for acting all around. Even though it's like a quick turnaround with like the character motivations and development and everything, but that's just par for the course with heroes. I really liked it. Like, she was just this girl, and then she just has this vision. She's like, we're gonna have to do horrible stuff, but it needs to be done to keep our secret safe. Because the government has ill intentions.
Definitely. I think just her acting was quite a good tour de force, and it's just simple things from like her expressions were very good, and the mannerisms and stuff like that. I think she was the best character of the episode. So yeah, how about character interactions?
Young Alice and young Angela, hands down. So yeah, it's hard. So cute.
It's hard to say anything against that because it's the truth. So yeah.
It's really weird how we have this consensus for this episode.
Yeah, but no, it's funny as well that we're talking about guest stars of the episode coming in and taking over the show, but that's what happens when you get good people in and they have good chemistry together. So take note, Heroes Reborn.
Best scene.
But I've also got to give a shout out to the little the Angela and Charles scene, and it makes you think if anything else happened in there between the two of them.
Man, let's just be real. It's pretty much explicitly implied that Angela has been with all the male founders except for like the Mendez, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, imagine if that had come up. She was Mama Mendez. He was the third Petrelli brother. But Yeah, I really would have liked to have seen more episodes like this about the kind of mythology of the founders, and maybe, like, obviously we've only got 4 of the founders here and there's 12, so I would have liked to have seen how Kato got involved. Obviously Arthur was involved because of
But
Angela in the end, but it's the same with, like, Maury. How did he get involved? And I really wanted to know more about the other characters who weren't able to be introduced in season 2. So yeah.
Yeah, they have comics though, but those still were very lacking.
Yeah. So, do you have any favorite scenes?
I love the end scene, but it's specifically the moment where Nathan looks up and it's him, and then he like tries to hide his face. It's the best because they're talking about how it's not a company; it should be a family, and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the diner scene because it's another reason why they should be hiding themselves, because obviously of how people react to just, black versus white or black and white. And, if people are just going to do that for like skin color, what's going to happen when, you pull out a lightning bolt from your hands? So, yeah.
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 Lines.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What?
Oh, sorry, it is Arnold. Okay. Lines, I am going to go with, do you see the benefits your abilities could have for the world? I only see my nightmares, and that's Chandra to Angela. How about you?
I like the socks line. Angela goes, "I have socks for you." And Alice is like, "What?" She's like, "Since that night, whenever I feel lost, whenever I don't know what to do, I still socks for you to remind myself there's simple ways to protect the ones we love. You don't ever have to be cold again." And I'm like, "Oh, but she does, because the plot demands it."
And then at the end, you kind of hear a mumble under her breath, "And I like stealing."
Also, say goodnight, Alice. Goodnight, Alice, because I used to do that as a kid because I was a little twerp.
So, what about grade? Where are we going to go grade-wise for this?
Oh, man. I'm going to say that if it hadn't had the present day stuff, like maybe just the end diner scene, it would have been like an A+ episode for me. But because the present day stuff was so muddled and mucky, and at the end of the day, finding Alice is just a MacGuffin, I'll give this a C+.
Okay, I think I'm going to go for a C+ as well. I completely agree with you. I really loved all the flashback stuff, and the kind of present day stuff just does seem a bit, it doesn't fit very well with it. Not like other previous kind of episodes like Company Man, like, you've got quite a lot going on, but it kind of makes sense with where the storyline's going. So yeah. What else yeah.
Trivia?
Yes. The only trivia I have is, obviously there's the reasons why Angela steals the socks. It's revealed that the government knew about evolved humans several decades ago. Aaron Collette said that in early drafts of the script it included Charles forcing the others to forget some of the memories. However, they thought they'd take it out to kind of leave it to the audience's imaginations as to what happened. It's the first episode to reference a real-life sports event. And yeah, there's Mohinder is afraid to compare his father to Dr. Mengele, or however you pronounce it, which obviously, Mengele, which is,
Nazi reference. We can keep going.
Yes. Yeah, that's all I've got. How about you?
Oh
no, we've got to bring up Coyote Sands Cafe, because it's just refreshed Burnt Toast Diner. So yeah.
Yep, basically. Yeah, that's all we really need to talk about.
Cool. So I will move on to the graphic novel, which is called Exodus, and it's basically concerning Rachel Mills, and her partner has been found, and he's given away her secret, that she's a special. She quote unquote comes out and teleports out of the, her being captured, and she ends up realizing she's now a target from the guys at Building 26. She finds all these people who are being held, and she's able to free. I had to say that really slowly. And she ends up going on the run with them, and it ends with her saying that she has to leave Building 26 behind, or Building 26 behind, which is an obvious thing. So yes.
Sweet. It was written by Bill Hooper, and the art was by Sia Owam, and the Easter egg was a behind-the-scenes photo of Alice Shaw and Angela Petrelli.
So the live tweeters I have, the people who were tweeting, retweeting, and faving during the episode, I have Cinzia667, Soft_Guitar60, English Idiot 101, and Paris Celine. I'll thank you all for joining. Thank you very much.
All right, sweet. I guess no email.
Yeah.
Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/primatechfiles. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Primatech Files. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn. And if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80-plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that could interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RICKYJDIAZ, or Z if you're American.
Thank you for joining us on this discussion of episode 323, 1961. We hope you found it entertaining and informative, and I want to encourage you guys to like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr, and keep sending in those emails. If we post something on Facebook that you like, hit the like button, share it, and don't forget to comment on it as well.
Download the podcast, save the pod.